So the reason all lives matter doesn't work as a response to the Black Lives Matter movement and is potentially offensive and inaccurate is because the entire meaning of the slogan Black Lives Matter is that all lives matter. And so it's really unfortunate and unintelligent when people don't get that and they don't interpret it that way. What it actually means is Black Lives Matter. Or what it means is all lives matter, and then in parenthetical, including ours, in spite of all the evidence to the contrary in society. That's what it means. Except that wouldn't work as a slogan. You can't have a movement called all lives matter, including black lives, in spite of all evidence to the contrary in present society. That just doesn't have any rhythm or flow to it, and that's ridiculous. And it's also ridiculous that people can't see through the lines of a cliche slogan and read what its actual significance is. And so when people respond by saying, well, all lives matter, it means one of two things. One, it means they're potentially a racist or at least fall on the spectrum of racism somewhere, and they're utterly moronic because they don't understand that literally. And I mean literally, not in the millennial way. Literally, what Black Lives Matter means is all lives matter. That's what it means. That is exactly what it means. So either they don't understand that, or they are alleging in their implication, or what all lives matter alleges, what it implies in response is that there's no victimization happening here. Like there's no unfair victimization. There's no marginalization of this group of people. And so why cry out? Why cry out that your group matters? Well, the whole point of crying out that their group matters or that the black community matters is because they are obviously being treated unfairly. And so to believe otherwise is also probably less moronic and more objectively psychotic. This is more where it shifts from you need a psychologist to where you need a neurologist, maybe to check your visual cortex in the back of your brain or something where you're not actually seeing the evidence. And it's very reminiscent of back in the day, when there was the Black Power movement or when I was young, this very sort of like pro-black centric movement, especially within hip hop culture. And so a lot of like white suburbanites or a lot of like very like ethnocentric white people. And I think people that just felt very removed from black culture, they felt very estranged from black culture. It was very unfamiliar to them, maybe intimidated, maybe marginally intimidated, but just intimidated enough that they couldn't see things clearly. And they interpreted like this pro-black sentiment as being necessarily anti-white. And it was not anti-white. It never was anti-white. What the pro-black sentiment meant in hip-hop culture, what the Black Power movement meant, back in the 60s and 70s, it meant all lives matter. These all mean the same thing. They just mean, pro-black just meant pro-equality. Black Lives Matter just means all lives matter. That's what it means. So when you respond to something that is obviously means all lives matter by saying, well, all lives matter, A, you sound like a moron, B, you sound like a racist, and those are one and the same, which also bears great logic.